everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today I'm going to answer a question that I actually already answered in another video. But that video is about 2.5 years old and I thought it would be nice to answer it again. So that is what we're doing. If you haven't noticed also, I've been doing a lot of these videos lately and I've been just remaking some videos that just ended up being really old, and I thought it would be nice to just update you guys on these things because there's no finish line in zero waste. There is no now I'm done. You can always improve and you can always reflect. So these questions that I answered 2.5 years ago, I can still answer today because obviously everything changes all the time. So here we are again, and I'm glad you made it. So the question we're going to answer today is, are sustainable products expensive? This is something that is both true and untrue at the same time. I'm going to take you guys through this whole entire process, but that is something that I often feel like I hear as an reaction to my zero waste lifestyle. I just recently experienced this when I was out giving a talk, and after the talk I have like 10-15 minutes for Q&A, so if you have any questions you can raise your hand. And a woman raised her hand and said, that's all really fine if you have a nice income, but what about me and my family? We don't have a nice income, we don't have any ways of being more sustainable. And I both see her point, but I also think that's a really easy way to just release yourself of any responsibility whatsoever, because anyone can make sustainable differences. I believe so strongly that it does not require any specific income to refuse plastic straws or to refuse plastic bags or to simply pick the unwrapped veggies at the supermarket rather than the wrapped ones. These changes is something that anyone can do. I think what is often missing is the mental capacity to incorporate these aspects of sustainability into your own life, and that's something that I completely acknowledge that can be really difficult because changing yourself requires some sort of access of time and mental capacity. 100% agree. That was first part. Then I often hear that it's very difficult to invest in sustainable products because they are more expensive than conventional products. And I will also acknowledge that as we talk more and more about sustainability, more and more products will just appear everywhere, and some of these products are not pure or wholeheartedly in it for the sustainability aspect, they're in it to make money. And that's just really sad, but that's how capitalism works. And it's also our job sort of to steer away from these sort of products. But nonetheless, when I started my zero waste journey, I of course invested in products that were a bit more expensive than the conventional product. But there were so many things I stopped buying at the same time. I get why some people do not afford sustainable products if they continue all their old habits and then try to incorporate new habits without just releasing some of the old ones. You feel? So if you still buy fast fashion all the time, if you still buy wrapped food, and if you still buy this and this and this, and then you just sort of also want to incorporate some of the more sustainable options, then it's going to be super difficult because it's going to be super expensive. The whole idea, from my point of view, is that you need to outphase some of these old habits in favor of new habits. If you do it this way, you're going to have to pay for fewer things, but the things that you do have to pay for are going to be a little bit more expensive. But generally, sustainable products that also have the heart in the right place are also often quite expensive. So why is that? And I think there's several reasons for this. One of the first reasons are we have been conditioned or accustomed to a certain price level because we have been accustomed to buying stuff that's outsourced to insanely unethical and unsustainable factories and practices. We are used to paying $1 for a t-shirt, and we do not, as a culture, care that much about the fact that someone did not get paid to make this t-shirt whatsoever. They got paid 2 cents. But if you buy a sustainable t-shirt, it's going to be significantly more expensive because you're paying the real cost of the item. You're paying a fair wage to the farmer who produced the cotton, for instance, or the material in general, and you're paying a fair wage to the person who made it, and generally all the way around you're paying fair wages for this product to be put into the world. And that is not something that we do with conventional products all the time. So that is why I personally think that sustainable products are more expensive. It's because you're paying the true cost of the item And that's also just a really backwards way of thinking about it. Sustainable products are not more expensive. The stuff we used to buy is not expensive enough. If that makes any sense, just, yeah. I realize that some people do not have any other choice than buying fast fashion, and those are not the people I am addressing. The people I am addressing in this video specifically, but generally in most videos, are the people that easily can afford to do the right thing or to invest in the right products, but choose not to because they would rather just have the cheap part, although they could choose which one they wanted. Those are the people that I generally address, and those are the people that are the majority of consumers. So it is not to say that you're a bad person because you can't afford the sustainable products. It's simply to say that if you try to prioritize the sustainable products and to outphase some of the older habits, you will very possibly be able to afford this product down the line. But no shame if that's not the case. This was simply to answer the question, why are sustainable products material? Why are sustainable products material? This was simply to answer the question, why sustainable products are generally a little bit more expensive, and sometimes they are of the right reasons and sometimes they are of the wrong reasons. But nonetheless, if you prioritize sustainability and if you have the access, economic access, but also mental capacity to reflect upon some of these habits and to outphase some in favor of others, definitely think you should do that, and then it won't be that expensive. I use myself as an example all the time because when I started Zero Waste, I was a student and I did not have a lot of money, let me tell you right now. And I made it work. I made it work with thrift shops generally. I made it work with farmers markets because that food is generally way cheaper because you don't pay this excessive packaging. Living zero waste is generally not more expensive, but you have shifted your priorities and you have thereby also shifted your money balance. So the money doesn't go the same places anymore, if that makes any sense. But this is something that's really, really important to me, but because I don't want to have people feel like you need to have a certain income in order to live sustainably. That is not the case. And if there's something you can't afford, then don't look at that thing as the first thing. Then look at the things that you are able to change. And there are so many changes you can make that does not require any money whatsoever. So look at those as the first thing, and then you will slowly find out that when you outphase conventional clothing stores or fast fashion in favor of thrift shops and secondhand, you have so much more money just from that one swap. It's insane. So yeah, that was just my tea. If you have any money saving tips on a sustainable lifestyle, leave them down below and I would love to check them out, and also just share with each other because that's also a really cool thing when that happens. So yeah, thank you so much and I will head out now. Bye! Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!